it's Chef Colleen. We're going to be making some Easter eggs today with maybe some supplies you have from home instead of buying maybe the kits that you get at the grocery store. But before we begin, we need to make some hard-boiled eggs. Pretty simple. Make sure you have an adult around when you are making your eggs and also dyeing your eggs. So first, what we need is a pot, and we'll put our eggs in the pot and fill it to completely cover your eggs in water. You want to then put your pot on the stove, turn it on high, and bring it to a boil. Once it's boiling, you want to shut that burner off and set a timer from anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes. So once they're done, you want to then take them out and put them into a bowl of ice water to let them cool. Now, mine that I made earlier today, I set my timer for 11 minutes. This is how they came out. So if you want your eggs done a little bit more than that, then set your timer for 12 minutes. If you want them done a little less, set it for 10. Again, mine was set for 10 minutes, or no, 11 minutes, sorry about that. So now once we have our eggs, in hard-boiled eggs, we are ready to make our tie-dye or dye our eggs. The first one that we're going to do is going to be a marbled egg. So there's some supplies, a little more supplies that you'll need for this one other than the next one that we're going to do. For our marbled eggs, we're going to need some glass bowls. I'm going to use measuring cups as my glass bowls. We're going to need some measuring spoons and also a measuring cup if you're using glass bowls. We're going to need just two, 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon. We're going to need some hot water. We're going to need white vinegar, and we're going to need food coloring. Just anything from the grocery store is fine. We're going to need a spoon, our hard-boiled eggs, paper towels, some warm water, which I have over here, and some vegetable oil that I have in a cup. So this is a marbled egg. So what we want to do first is we want to make our food coloring, or our dye that's going to be the base of our egg. So we don't want our base to be really dark, so we're going to do a little bit less on our food coloring than we are for our marbled part. So what we want to do first is add our hot water. We want 1 cup of hot water in our bowl. Since I'm using a measuring cup, I'm just going to leave the hot water right in this measuring cup. To that, you're going to add anywhere from 5 to 10 drops of your food coloring. I'm going to do purple, and I'm going to add 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To that 5 drops, we are going to add 1 teaspoon of vinegar. And 1 teaspoon of vinegar. I'm going to stir that around just to get the color all mixed in here. Once your color is mixed, you can then add your egg. This is where you'll need your spoon. So I have my spoon. I'm going to add an egg to my purple dye here. And again, you only want to leave it in there about a minute. You don't want to drop it in there. If you drop your egg, it could crack. And what happens when it cracks is your food dye will then get on your egg when you peel it later on. So you really want to be careful, and I'm just stirring it gently as it is in my food coloring, my dye here. And again, you want this base a light color, because when we do the marbled, we're going to do a darker color. So not, like I said, no longer than a minute. So I have my color. This is my purple color. I'm going to put it on a piece of paper towel to let it dry. You want it completely dried before we go on to the next step, the marbled part. That's kind of cool. It already looks a little marbled. All right, I'm going to let that dry. While that's drying, we're going to go on to our next egg that we're going to dye, and that's going to be using dried rice. So there's 2 different ways you can do this. One is you can put it in a cup. You want to fill it about 3/4 of the way up, or maybe a little bit more than halfway. And to this, we're going to add about 10 or 15 drops of food coloring. So I'm going to add like a teal blue, and I'm going to add probably about, let's try 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The more food coloring that you add, the darker it will be. So you can adjust the colors by how many drops you put in there. So to this, I'm going to put another cup on top, and I've got a piece of tape that I'm going to wrap around my cup just to hold it on so I don't have rice flying all over the kitchen. So I'm just going to wrap it so I can gently shake my rice, and I'm just going to shake it until I have all my rice and coloring mixed in, so this will look teal. All right, my rice is now colored. So you can shake it pretty hard, but once you put the egg in there, you want to be gentle and shake lightly. So I'm going to take this tape off. I'm going to add one of my eggs to the cup. Let's put that top back on and tape it back around. And this time I'm going to just shake gently, not quite as hard as I was shaking when I was coloring my rice. And what this is going to give you is a really cute little speckled egg. So one is going to be marbled. This one is more like a speckled egg. Okay, I'm going to take that out. Find my egg in there. And I'll get a spoon to get that egg out. And you can continue to dye a lot of eggs before the rice dries. Once the rice dries, just add more food coloring. So that's a nice speckled egg that I made with rice. So you don't need any water, you do not need any vinegar. I did some earlier today. I've got a blue one. Once the color dries, you can go ahead and do it in a second color. So I did a pink one, and then I put it in the purple, or in the blue after, so now I have a blue and pink speckled egg. So that's how you would make your eggs with some rice. And again, you can do many different colors. If you decide you want to do it in a bag, it really works a lot easier. Do the exact same thing, fill your bag, mix your color in, drop your egg in, and kind of rub your egg around into your rice. And then take it out, let that dry. If you want to do a second color, then put your egg in again. Again, if your rice gets dry, just drop a few more drops of your food coloring in, and it'll moisten it right back up. All right, now that we have our rice dyed eggs, let's go back to our egg that we're going to marble. So I've got a pink, kind of a pinkish purple color here that I used to make the dye with. Now I want to make my marble part. So this is where I'm going to use warm water instead of hot water. I'm going to fill up 1 cup of warm water into my measuring cup. To my warm water, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil. So I've got my vegetable oil. I'm going to add that to my water. And then this time, instead of 5 to 10 drops, we're going to do about 20 drops. So let's see, I did purple. Let's do this teal with that. I think that might look kind of cool. So I'm going to do 20 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, I'm going to stir that around so that my oil and my color is all mixed. Now again, on this one, you want to do a really quick dip on this, otherwise you'll have a solid color. So you don't want to leave it in there long at all. Just kind of give it a swirl, then take it out. So you want to have paper towel near, you want to have your spoon near, and you want to do a quick dip and take it right out. So I'm going to take this egg, put it on my spoon, dip it in quick, take it out, and I've got this cool marble look. You want to put it on your paper towel. Oops. and you want to wipe it to get your marbled look, and there you go. You got a nice cool marbled look on that. So you can also use your food dye, and you can write on your eggs. So the one that you put the vinegar in, if you've got a lot of different colors and you want to do something different other than the marbled look, you can draw on it with a marker, you can draw on it with a crayon, make pictures, write words, whatever you want, dip it in your egg, or in your dye. So a lot of different things you can do with ingredients that you have at home instead of going to the store and buying a kit. So with that, our next class that we're going to do is we're going to be talking about what are we going to do with all these eggs that we dyed after Easter's over. So I want you guys to go and look up some recipes, see what you can come up with, of what you can make with hard-boiled eggs that you think you'll eat. I'll have some recipes also on our next class, but I want to hear from you on our Zoom. So every Wednesday, I'm on Zoom from 10 until 10:30. And so I look forward to talking to all of you, listening to what you made as far as your Easter eggs and what you did recipe-wise after they were all done. Until then, happy Easter, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.